Hey guys, welcome to Kitchen Takeover. I am your host, Eric, and what I am doing is taking over my wife's kitchen. Welcome to Kitchen Takeover, and today I am going to build an omelet that is carnivore-ish. It is mostly carnivore, and the only thing you need to do to make it pure carnivore is remove the strawberries. This is a goat cheese, strawberry, and raw honey omelet. So what I've got here is I've got 5 eggs that I have mixed together with my plain Greek yogurt. Plain Greek yogurt because there's no sugar added, okay? Now Greek yogurt is dairy, and dairy is on the carnivore diet if we're not taking the strict interpretation of meat only. So here I got some dairy. I got some duck fat. Duck fat is gonna be my grease for my pan here where I'm gonna cook the omelet on. I've got my raw honey afterwards. Honey, fun fact, is bee vomit. True story. Look it up. That's why it's carnivore. And then I've got my plain goat cheese with no sugar added, no flavoring, none of that stuff. Okay, now what I did was I mixed about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more than a tablespoon of Greek yogurt in my egg. That's my thickening agent. I'm gonna get that pan piping hot. You wanna get the flame, because I think that's cool when we get the flame here turning on. That's the wrong flame. Wrong flame. Here we go. Now we're going to get this really hot. I've got this going at the hottest setting. I am not a chef. So if you're watching this video thinking, none of these tips that he's giving make any sense at all. Well, it's because I'm not a chef. I'm just a big dumb idiot who's taken over my wife's kitchen and will probably leave it a mess, resulting in her yelling later at somebody. So this is what I do. I make this really hot because I see other chefs make it really hot. And when it's really hot, the egg cooks really quick. So I'm going to do my best to have that egg cook really quick, lift it up so that all the wet stuff on top, the yolk and the egg white, see, not a chef, it gets underneath, hardens, and it's easier for me to flip it over. That's what I'm going to do. So you can see already that the colors come out of it. Now I probably put a little bit too much duck fat in here, so what I'm going to do is once this gets really hot, I'm going to dump some of the excess into this cast iron pan I have over here, which I will use to sear my steak later. Aha, thinking ahead. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful wife who doesn't want to be in frame but will be occasionally. All right, got a little extra duck fat. Go ahead and get this.
Hold on.
All right, so I've dumped out my extra duck fat. I'm gonna let this get really hot, throw some water on it. This is what my dad did when I was a kid. I don't know if really you should do this or not. It's hot, probably a little too hot. Again, I'm not a professional chef. If you want to see better cooking videos, look at Food Tip Tuesday with my wife Amanda. All right, now it's looking good. So now the bottom's gonna cook quick. I'm gonna lift up the sides. I'm gonna lift up the sides here, and I'm gonna let all of the extra stuff on top basically solidify as fast as it can. And then when there's very little left and it's not very runny, I'm going to turn it over. And that's how I'm going to make my omelet. Now what I found out, something that I've learned recently that is probably obvious to anybody that has any cooking training whatsoever, is that if you use a good grease and you cook with high heat, not only do you not burn the egg, but it's easier to flip it. This is only going to take me another 30 seconds or so. You got that? Look at that. Almost. I used 5 eggs, so it's going to take a little bit longer. That's pretty much it. I'll be able to flip this in just a second. All right, I'm no professional. We're gonna do this the best we can here. Okay, all right, I've just flipped my omelet. This pan is really hot, so it's not gonna take long for the other side to basically solidify. Then what I'm going to do, and you see that I got this duck fat, so it really, it doesn't stick. This is great. So I'm going to let it, cook the other side, and then I'm going to slide it off the pan. Once I slide off the pan, I'm going to do the cheese first and let that melt from the heat. Put the strawberries over it, fold it in half, and drizzle some honey over the top. This is an awesome breakfast. I've had it 3 times this week, and it is perhaps the best omelet I've ever had in my life. What would I do different? I suppose I might add avocado to this, maybe. Avocado being in the carnivore-ish plan, right? So it's one of the lesser phytotoxic fruits and vegetables, right? So if your body has a decent tolerance to it, you can use it. I'm going to put this cheese on here, which will melt from the heat of the omelet. Now, something I could have done, this cheese is a little bit harder than the other cheese that I've used. You see, as it starts to melt, it becomes easier to spread. You don't have to spread it. I have a little OCD, I'll be honest. And the neat freak in me likes how it looks when it's spread evenly over the omelet. It's obviously easier to do so as the cheese melts. What this also does is make every bite a little bit sweeter. And it's definitely going to make it look prettier. And you see, I'm starting to get a nice coat here. Okay, look at that. Okay. Now, make sure I get all of it. Now what I'm going to do is put these strawberries. Now what I did was I removed the leaves. I cut off the top side and the bottom side where the little triangle is, so I could get some nice, flat, kind of evenly sized strawberries. Okay, now I'm just going to fold this in half. Right there. You see my dog obviously loves the smell of this omelet. And then, since I'm presenting it to myself, and I want it to look really nice on the plate, I'm going to take the extra. I've seen chefs do this on chef shows, cooking shows, so obviously I should do it. There we go. And I'm going to take this raw honey, and I'm not going to squeeze it. I'm just going to let gravity do the work here, because I really don't want too much, and you don't need too much for it to taste amazing. And then, because I want the strawberry and the goat cheese, I'm not going to use my fork like you might, I don't know if anybody cares about this extra info, but this is how I do it. I use a knife. And that way, when I slice it, I'm slicing that strawberry and I get a nice, even piece. As you can see, these videos are much less professional than my wife's, because the dog is not wrapped up. I am not wearing makeup, and my wife is in frame. Anyway, guys, that is my carnivore-ish, almost entirely carnivore, amazing tasting omelet, courtesy of my good friend and coach, Keith Cassio. Guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next Kitchen Takeover. Bye-bye.